two dope dudes, bringing you the news, leading you to much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a like, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm Aaron.
Hey, I'm Dave.
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Had a great weekend.
Yeah. Good Memorial
yeah.
Day weekend.
Oh yeah. Went out of town. Did a little beautiful disc golfing.
Yeah. You played Pickard Park? Pickard Park?
Pickard Park.
Pickard
and then
Park
the
in
other one.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Now that is JK's course, right? If I remember correctly.
Maybe.
Yeah. Dope.
You might be right.
Yep, I believe that is the course that Juliana Corver helped design and came up throwing on. Maybe, if
It could be.
if my
I
brain
don't
is
know.
correct.
That's a really cool stat if it is. No, I just honestly beautiful land and beautiful disc golf and great company and liked it.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I like when you know.
Oh, a lot of it is like, yes, I'm correct. Yeah, she designed the original layout for Pickard Park, where the Des Moines Challenge is played. Correct.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well,
That might
let me
also-
tell you what
yeah.
a beautiful piece of land to begin with. The other one we went
Juliana
to was
Corver, for people who don't know, is the greatest of all time women's frisbee slash disc sports / disc golf champion. I think she's an 11-time world champion, 5-time in disc golf, and 6 times in flying disc sports.
yeah.
Yeah. Also the only woman to ever cash in the open division back in the day, which was a pretty big feat. Yeah. So she's a super awesome disc golfer.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean,
No,
just for people who
dude,
don't know.
all the
like,
respect
who is
to
this?
JK.
Yeah. Yeah. JK is the GOAT.
That's fact.
So yeah, you went out to Iowa and then hung out, and then you said you did some racetrack stuff, it looked like.
Bro. Yeah, we went to Prairie Meadows and yep. It's an experience, man.
Yeah.
What a thing.
Dude, that's seems like it would be a hoot to go to with a bunch of people for sure.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I've never gone out of my way. Like, I don't have friends who like do that stuff. So
I'm such a people person. Like, I didn't even like, literally swear to God, the race would be going on, and they'd be going on behind my back. I'm at the track. I could like turn around and high five a horse when it came by.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like staring and watching people and like people's reactions and them screaming at horses. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was a lot of like, I just like people. I think they're neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good people watching.
Hell yeah. That's cool. That's cool, man.
It was
Awesome.
a lot. It was honestly a lot of fun.
Seems rejuvenating, right?
Every once in a while, get out of your,
Yeah,
get out
for
of your
sure.
comfort space, go explore, and you find out there's a lot of beautiful stuff out there. A lot of neat people.
That's right.
Oh, some great food. Oh my God, I ate the best. I'm not like typically like a steak person. It's not like I would rather go to like a pasta joint personally.
Right.
Anyway, but we went to this fucking steakhouse, whatever. Get out of it. I don't clown. I spent
Nice.
$70 well pre-tip on my food. So like, and it
Ooh,
was
big
just food.
spender.
I didn't drink. I drank water.
Big spender, baby.
Hey, listen.
No, I
I
get
don't
it.
know.
No, I get it. I
But
get it.
that was the best. Like that. Oh,
But
I love
also
food, and I
life
love
is short,
people.
and you gotta, sometimes the finer things are worth it. Like it's like not worth the hassle to worry about how much your food costs if it's really good food.
Oh, hey,
I'm just
especially when
saying.
you're doing it on casino money,
That's
boy.
right. That's
Yeah, that's it.
right. Hell yeah.
All right. Hey,
That's
don't gamble. All right.
yeah, no. I mean, disc golfers and gamblers go hand in hand.
Golly.
Yeah. That's why I
Hey,
can never be
listen.
good at disc golf because I'm not into gambling.
Yeah.
I don't have the compulsion to become better in order to become a better gambler.
I think there's like a competition in it too, you know?
Sure.
Well, it brings out the best competitor when you got $1 on something, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't
Really
mind
give some
$1,
honest
but
effort.
like we also know some people that throw some dollars on it. Oh, we also know people who make a living like playing professionally. So
I mean, I can't tell you how many $1 weird side bets
Oh, yeah.
that went on this weekend.
I bet,
We were like
especially
trying to
with
bet on
Rafa.
how long the married couple would stay at the casino for. We were like, all right, what 9:45? That's the line. And then my boy Ruff, he was like, over under, over under.
9:15.
He's like, you know what? He's like, I think they got it in them tonight. They're going over. And then like 9:46 rolls up, and he goes, hey, look at the phone. I'm like, fuck. All right, here's your dollar, dude. Like, we're just betting on the dumbest shit. But
You guys just spend the same dollar back and forth.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I have the $1 that I've ever won from Rafa still.
I'm definitely more. I don't know. I like to take the long shots a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, I like to know that I'm about to lose this bet, but it really makes me try harder.
Oh, I know. There's
Yeah.
nothing like playing a round of disc golf and then standing next to Rafa and betting whether you're going to make a shot or not.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's the best.
I know.
Yeah.
I
So,
do. Yeah.
yeah, Rafa's the best. Love that guy. Sick. I did a lot of garden stuff this weekend and hung out with the family.
Hell yeah.
Picked up some hash from my buddy Farm to Hash. Had a cool event and yeah, just chilled. So,
What event did you go to?
there's this place in East Dundee called the Artist Creative or something. It's like a puff and paint place, and they had a little
Okay.
dab bar, and so my buddy was there. And Farm to Hash is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's got some like straw banger stuff, and yeah, and good times. Good times.
Hell
They had some homemade paletas, which are super fire. I'm down with paletas. That's like real fruit frozen. It's Spanish Mexican frozen fruit, like a popsicle paleta.
Oh
You got
yeah,
like
yeah.
strawberry, like real strawberries, real pineapples.
Yeah.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Super good.
Fire.
Hell yeah.
11 out of 10.
Anyway, let's do plugs real quick, and we'll get into it. You can find us, the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite podcasts and streaming apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Please give us a like, leave a review. This helps us reach more people. SupportDopePeople.com. And yeah, for sure.
That's it. Thursday night, come hang out with me at 8 p.m. Live on Peace, Love, and Cope on YouTube. We're just trying to help you take your health back in your own hands. You definitely deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Always good to see
We've
people
got-
over there. It's always good to see
Oh.
the people who are there actually participating in the live chat. And
The Growmies have really come through super hard recently, and they
Yeah.
honestly they're super interactive, and I appreciate that. Like, they take my wild questions and my shit that, like, I'm not even trying to be rude or anything, but like I think maybe some of what I'm saying is questioning some of the things, like, why do you do what you do? And it's not because I think there's better or worse. Like, I just want to know, but I do hope that, like, it's really cool because some of the people have said, you know what? I think I'll try to grow some excess cannabinoids. I
Hmm.
think I will try to grow something that isn't just THC dominant and see just for me, right? And try different growing patterns because I do believe that there is in the future something to be said with excess cannabinoids. If we
Hmm.
can change wheat into or flour or whatever it is into delta 9, it's going to be unnecessary to grow plants that are abundant in delta 9. It's not that there won't be a place for it because that consumer will always be there, but I think having plants with more robust cannabinoids, more robust terpenoids, and like making sure that you know what that means when you go to start growing instead of just putting a strain name or the faith in somebody who has a lot of Instagram followers, which is perfectly fine, but like I want like when people say good genetics for a non-grower, I half the time I don't know what it means because I just want a good product
I
at the
think
end.
I think most of the time people think they know what they mean, but they don't actually know what they mean either.
And
And I don't mean that as like people don't understand it. I think people understand the lineage,
well, and
or they can remember the lineage, but I don't think they understand the broader scope of what it
and
is.
that it means that there is
But that's just
cannabinoids. That it
because
means
there's too
there
much.
will there will be terpenoids, there will be cannabinoids. That plant will produce something. What is it producing? Instead of calling it a name and just going, okay, it looks good enough for me, it smokes good enough for me, there's a bigger, broader impact to what that thing has capable of it. And for a lot of us, I think it's literally, if I'm not wrong, I think there's like 68% of cannabis use, if I don't remember, it's something in that range, 58 to 68. It's in that
Hmm.
higher, above 50% of the use of cannabis is for psychological, what I end up calling the F it all response, right? Like
Hmm.
it's just for a mental comfort. So that's delivered in a lot of places. But like when I get to the part and we're doing the conditional cannabis corner, like those conditions respond better to not a lot of times will you hear me say you need THC with that.
Right.
I think it's not necessity, more it's
Well,
like
THC is the carrier
it's
for CBD. It's
it's gonna
it's
be there no matter
THC
what,
is
right?
the
Like you
boring
should
part.
have some of it, but the abundance that you would want to take and the thing that you and it's not like
Well,
a
that's
lot
why
of
that's
times I
why you
see
have to know your methods of ingestion, and
well,
that's why inhalation is the number one recommended for most use cases to have a direct impact and to get that into your bloodstream and going right away. That's why we
my
use inhalation, correct?
my greatest mentor, the person that I think I've taken the most
Hmm.
medicinal cannabis information from, um, they used to say the same thing too. Like, oh fuck, what was man? I was on the lingering edge and I had a brain fart. Oh,
Well, we were talking about THC and CBD and why it's why you
oh,
should be using THC.
it's not because when I say it's methods of ingestion, cannabinoids, and terpenoids.
Hmm.
When we came up with this, it was really a collaborative between the two of her and me, kind of talking about what and she's way more of an orchestrator of thought in a lot of the medical sense when I talk about things. But she used to say in the middle, it's more um cannabinoid ratios, right? It's because people won't ever be able to just pinpoint and go, I need 5% or 10 milligrams or whatever of CBD and 5%
But
or
Dave,
2% of
isn't
THC.
that why we advocate for people to take sustained doses of CBD and journal how they feel so that they can figure this out? I'm
Bingo. And whenever I use, okay, so in every medical instance, including, I still have a couple of parents who talk to me directly about their children and what's going on. Um, the one that I most talk to is an epilepsy patient.
mhm.
When we speak about cannabis, I do not talk to her about what milligrams. We know that she wants to be at 25 milligrams of CBD. We talk about what ratio of things we want to use. We've gone from, I think it was like 5 to 1 or 10 to 1 at one point of CBD to THC to somewhere recently in like a 3 to 1, which
Mhm.
means as time's progressed in her condition, she's had sustainable comfort, because with a base level of 25 milligrams of CBD the whole time, it's only been this increase of THC. She's getting older, right? I think she's in her late teens now. I want to say she's like, oh man, 18, 19, 20, some. Anyway, because of this development, whatever, and because of the pains and the sores and the whatever, I think, if I'm not wrong, and I don't mean to talk too much of this girl's conditions. I've actually, her mom said that she would come on and talk one day. She's like a medical anomaly. She has a ton of different contradicting, almost like she has autoimmune diseases. She has
comorbidities.
The poor girl has been through the ringer, right? But like, the whole moral of the story, as we've gone on, it hasn't been CBD that we've increased. It's just been a baseline. It's really been THC that we've increased for a different set of comforts. And when
hopefully Benzinga gets back to us and gives us our media passes, because they actually have this whole talk on is the consumer like over the THC increase and media blitz, basically, I believe was one of the ones that I saw. And that would be very interesting to see what people in the industry, how they feel about that.
Oh, people are absolutely moving away from high THC percentage purchasing, which was the whole beginning of this market. Everything was just give me the highest numbers, inflate the numbers to infinity, and it doesn't matter.
Well, inflated because we tax based on THC percentage.
Well, bingo, that helps the state. Yep. But then also the consumer goes, it's got to be better. There's a bigger number on it.
Well,
why would they put the number if it doesn't mean something?
Yeah, well, the state wants the cultivators to have the highest THC possible. So, and the cultivators want to stay in good with the state, so they make the highest THC possible.
That's because they're trying to regulate Delta 9 THC, which is why we've talked to all of our hemp friends and we've said, hey, listen, if that's even it, there's plenty of excess cannabinoids, and as long as you're under 0.3%, you're doing it fine anyway.
Right.
So what is the difference? Like, people still have the ability to represent this plant outside of a dispensary, and there's plenty of our friends who do it good sometimes,
Hey, by the time this comes, we're nearing the end of the session, so probably look for something next week funky to happen in the in the bills. I'm just waiting for it. But hey, let's get to comments, YouTube comments real quick, and then we got plenty of news to talk about.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, we got a couple comments here. Dr. Danknug, speaking of, you were talking about how the Growmies have been coming through, and we have had Growmies come through this podcast from the Instagram community. But Dr. Danknugs has been probably solely responsible lately for bringing all the other Growmies through, Mr. Ganix and
Danknugs is a he's actually
cool
like the
shit.
guy. I've been watching a lot of his content.
Yep.
I think he's like a genuinely badass dude.
He's super cool. And then All That's Green, you guys are great. Cheers. Dr. Danknugs, another great episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to my two dope buddies, Aaron and Dave. Yeah, he was out here for the Goat Cup, entered in that. And then Miranda,
All That's Green, what a kick-ass.
She's cool too. She's got a Sunday night Show Your Grow show. And she's super cool. And then what was the other one? Yeah, there we go. Forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm controlling this right now. I just started looking at stuff. Cole Memo, Pete, Heisenterp Brothers, John Voight, Mr. Rourke 420, Victor, our friend from Germany. Appreciate him. Dr. Danknugs. Who else? Chi-Town Hi-Fi. Yeah. Those are all the friends in the YouTube. We appreciate all of you.
That is, I don't know. This community is awesome. I appreciate everybody being part of it. Thanks for all the interaction, especially recently. I mean, with me personally, I said, like, everything has just been over the top sweet.
Oops. What do we do? Is this the latest one? Yeah. Hey, just wanted to show you. Look at this. We got Dave's Conditional Cannabis Corner. I got 3 of them that are public right now.
Wow.
They're in the playlist. It's probably some of them are fine, but they're all great. But as far as views, go give them a watch. Helps our algorithm. I probably shouldn't put them out if I cared about the algorithm, but I actually don't really care about the algorithm.
Like I
that
said,
much.
I think at some
It's
point
whatever.
I can rewatch them and we can figure it out, make it better.
I mean, we can do late night sessions, man. Like we can figure it out.
Late night right now is good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how late night. I like getting up at like 7 a.m. So sometimes late night can't be 3 a.m. anymore. It can be like, I got to go to bed at midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fine.
But like, we can do some shit. So yeah, we got some news. Oh, I wanted to bring this up because our friend over. Oh, I totally removed that. Hold on a second. That was stupid. All right. Awesome. I removed the thing that I wanted to do. This is one I wanted to talk about. I saw this today before we started. Second annual Illinois Craft Showcase set for August 16th. Illinois News Joint Events, which we know is one of the companies, our friend Jason Brown over at Illinois News Joint, set to host the second annual Craft Showcase from 12 to 6, August 16th at Molly's Joint in Tilton. Illinois Craft Showcase will once again host dozens of licensed craft cannabis brands, along with new craft cannabis brands launching this year. Attendees will have the opportunity to meet brand representatives and sample for free the best licensed cannabis products in Illinois. It is free tickets. You can get VIP tickets, and you get a gift bag. It'll be pretty awesome if I know Jason like I know Jason. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. It'll be super cool. Support Jason, all the stuff he does. Our friend Molly's Joint, that's a 1937 group.
Whoa.
So, and we'll talk about them later. Actually,
That's pretty dope.
we can talk about them right now. I do like the 1937 group quite a bit. All the stuff I've been to has been great. And everybody over there has been super kind. So this is from CBS News. Lack of funding to develop has some cannabis business owners stuck. And there's a whole video. You can go see this at the link and probably in the description of the YouTube video. I hope you guys like the people who go watch it, don't watch it live. Do you guys like that I make the chapters? Does anybody care? Should I continue to do that? I don't know. Let me know. So this from CBS News. Imagine paying $40,000 a year for a business license, yet having a company that can barely make any money. That's the reality facing some cannabis business owners. Ambrose Jackson, chief executive officer of the 1937 Group, walked CBS News through his cannabis craft grow facility in West Suburban Broadview. He said it has not yet been built out because he's been waiting 3.5 years for the funding to develop it. 40,000 square feet, Jackson says. I mean, you see it. He said the lack of state funding, grants, and what he calls burdensome regulations have halted the build-out. We were required to gain control of a facility.
40,000. Hold on. These people have a craft grow license, right?
Yeah, 1937 Group. They also own Molly's Joint in Tilton.
You can't have 40,000 square feet. You can have 14,000 square feet because you're allowed, 5K? And then, and though they might have built a facility that is that big, according to the laws of things, and this is where the feet are dragging and whatever, you get 5,000 square feet of, and maybe it's 40,000 square feet of.
That was going to be my point. It's going to be 40,000 square feet to have a whole facility. It doesn't mean 40,000 square feet of grow room facility.
Okay, yeah.
He says 40,000 square feet.
Okay, but
He's got to have
they
like
are growing right now, right? They've got 5,000 square feet of active canopy space that they're turning. Am I wrong?
I don't believe that to be so.
Oh, I apologize. I'm very rude in saying that. Then I thought
Jack's
1937 was to market already.
they are they'll explain that in just a minute.
Okay.
So Jackson pays a total of $50,000 a month for property tax, insurance, and his lease, expecting that I would be able to get this building up and running, expecting that I would have funding and low interest grants provided by the state. But Jackson said that didn't happen, so he had to pivot. His company sells cannabis flower, pre-rolls, and manufactures vape devices.
Yeah.
They also make edibles. They do the Kush League Chew edibles, and they make Potley infused honey.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. And I've seen their product. I swear to God.
Sure.
It's like,
I
thought they have canopy space, so they're built out.
I'm not sure if they're partnered with somebody or I don't know. I just don't remember if they have an actual cultivation facility currently.
They definitely do. That's how they're selling flour and shit.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. They're unable to build out for multiple reasons. One, funding. Every single cannabis company, including the big ones, the monsters that we call them, the whatever, the multi-states, the whatever you want to call them, those people are kind of hoping for more money too, right?
Yeah.
They're burning whatever they're making. They're burning to either expand or maintain licenses and whatever. There's a lot of burn going on.
I mean, we already saw. Oh, that was something else. Did we talk about that last week? That the OK in Wheeling is closing down.
No.
Yeah. No. OK in Wheeling is closing down.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, but my point being is that we're starting to see dispensaries shut down. We're starting to see people who have money and who are trying to participate in the market unable to do anything.
The guy
you're not gonna get an argument out of me from that.
Well, yeah. Well, I know that, but and we've been saying this for literal years. Is that this inclusiveness and the funds that they set up to help all these people. That's trash. It's not coming through. The licenses are turning out to be more burdensome than they are profitable. It's a thing that they have to maintain for tens of thousands of dollars a year. They're not allowed to expand their business. The guys have 5,000 square feet of grow space. They have a 40,000 square feet facility. They can increase their 5,000 square foot by 180%, period, the end. That's all the state will allow them. Well, that sucks too. Like, if your business is growing and you're able to put more product in, and they should, right? But now here's the thing. The state also gets to now argue and go, well, we tried because we wanted the companies to grow, but look at all these people that are failing now. So we don't want to let all these new players in. Right. Instead, they're going to choke out the whole entire bottom of it, give all of them like funding, opportunities. It's all going to these monsters, these massive players who are proven track records. Fuck this, dude.
Well, yeah, look at this here. It says, so Jackson, who's the co-founder of the Black Cannabis Operators, a coalition group of owners in the cannabis industry, reached out to Illinois State Rep. LaShawn K. Ford, Chicago. He's a Democrat from Chicago, for help. He's listening to their concerns. Ford said he is introducing the cannabis omnibus bill in the State House, which would ease the burdens of struggling cannabis business operators. The bill in particular would waive the $40,000 licensing fee, Ford said. Ford said the bill will be filed this week with the goal of voting on it by May 31st. So 31st.
Great.
So yeah,
great, LaShawn. You save these companies $40,000, but you don't allow them to. And I'm fully on board. It just is driving me nuts that
right.
We're not fixing any of the problems. We're not even addressing any of the problems.
Nobody's trying to rewrite the bill. It's easier. I mean, the way the government works is that you can't really rewrite the bill. You can't really rescind stuff. It's easier to make new things or to change words.
That's the way they've made you believe that it is. But Thomas Jefferson said every generation needs a revolution, not one with guns, but one of the mind.
We're not calling for a revolution for sure.
No, I'm just saying that we should. Well, revolutionize the laws, change them. scrap the whole entire thing because it was bad from the beginning and then rebuild it into something that actually is sustainable for your people.
Yeah.
That would seem reasonable as a government, as people that are supposed to help their constituents. It seems reasonable that you can assess the laws that you've already put in place and go, wow, this is actually hurting the people instead of helping them. It's holding them back from growth.
Yep.
But also, if you just wanted to keep them in their small little bubble of equity and inclusion and get away from them ever being profitable, period, just leave them their little bubble and that's all they get. So sick, dude.
It's unfortunate that Illinois is continuing to leave its medical users behind in the dark, in the dust, without reprieve. I don't care what omnibus bill you pass. It's you know, it's only
Illinois
meant for
seems to
the
care
rich
about-
to get richer.
Illinois seems to care about 20 companies in Illinois.
Well,
And
Illinois
honestly,
cares about
of them-
what they can get for taxes to pay their previous bad
that's what I'm
decision
saying.
pensions.
That's where the massive portion of this tax revenue
It's all made
is
up.
coming from.
It's all made up.
It's
Like
fake.
people are like, oh, we can pay our bills now, but like, you don't remember why we were where we were at, because where we had to get to not pay our bills, because Illinois has been so fucked for so long.
I mean, it's super, like, through taxation, and not only through taxation, but through the inability for the companies to
Through
claim
entitlement
their
programs.
assets against their losses, the same way that to not be able to use the things that you've spent into the business to do, the labor, even being the biggest one, the labor.
Mhm.
Everywhere else in the entire fucking world, you can write off the labor as long as you're putting that, like, it's going towards the thing. And now this is the one industry where it's like, no, we don't regulate it that way. You're not allowed to. The banking system is broken over this thing. Like, it's kind of sad. Anyway.
Hey, last week I missed this. I got to go back and sign up so I can get the meeting updates, because I went to one of these last year and they were great. IDPH, in conjunction with the Medical Cannabis Advisory Board, MCAB, hosted the first meeting of the year from 3:30 to 5 p.m. MCAB members focused on the reintroduction of board members, board procedures, updates, and a framework for reviewing evidence for proposed new qualifying conditions. The last one I was on, people were, it's all herky-jerky, and there was nothing to say nothing. Nobody knew what to do.
Is that where the gatekeeper was at?
Yes, this is where the gatekeeper was at.
Yeah, good.
Melissa Statlitz, IDPH Deputy Director, Office of Health Promotion, delivered a brief update announcing that the new medical patient registration portal recently had gone live, and that all 4 conditions that had been approved last year had been used by medical professionals, I got to slow down, to provide a patient with a medical card. The board also introduced the new chair, Leslie Mendoza Temple, and new co-chair, James Champion, who were appointed last September. Jim is awesome. I like that
I
guy.
like him.
Yeah.
Him and his wife are really
yeah.
good people. They've always been really nice to me.
Nice. I've never met him personally, but I've seen him on MCAB, and I get it. Super cool. Would like to meet him. Dr. Catherine Cunard, IDPH Preventative Medicine Medical Advisor, presented visual slides proposing an evidence evaluation framework for reviewing evidence for proposed new qualifying conditions to ensure that board members and state officials are receiving the best and most updated scientific information possible for each new qualifying condition. Dr. Temple also presented a mini review discussion about evidence for accepting and denying new medical conditions. Now, I have not seen this. I should ask Cole personally about this, what he thinks. But I would say that is definitely a good thing, where we have some sort of outline of how we are going to accept things, because it seemed like on the meetings that I've been on, some of the board members believed some wild things and refused to look at any medical papers, or they just seem wildly uneducated in some areas. So it's good that we're at least going, this is how we're going to accept new things. This is the outline. This is how we follow it. It should be easy for everybody to do this instead of it just being willy-nilly. So I would say that's a good thing.
Let's consider, just because you said it and just because we should all collaborate on it, maybe we should consider doing another Cole episode next week or something. Or right when the session gets out.
I was hoping to, yeah. That was my thought. I was going to talk to him about that and see if that would be a thing.
Yeah, well, he might be hearing this live for the first time. And
yeah, for sure. He said he was going to text me soon.
All right, cool.
The board assigned board members to review assigned board members to review recent evidence for considering post-traumatic stress disorder and migraines as conditions for proposed new qualifying conditions. PTSD and migraines will be discussed as a new condition during the next board meeting set for 3:30 to 5 in September. The September meeting will be more educational and informational than the actual consideration of conditions. And then board members also quickly address concerns, because they can't do shit about it, for the lack of medical products in dispensaries since adult use legalization, and agree that the board should do what it is in its limits to help address this issue, which is nothing. Next petition submissions for proposed new qualifying conditions are due between January 1st and 31st, 2026. And actually, what they could do is they could just allow everything to be a condition.
Well, but that's the other thing. We're in the modern age of like quick shit. Put a fucking poll on the IDPH. Ask everybody. Let's have a conversation about it next month. Give everybody a month to do it. Send the fucking memo out. Like get this moving. January 1st, 31. Like just I don't know about that.
Also, shout out to Cole Memo. Today's meeting of the Illinois Medical Cannabis Advisory Board was abruptly adjourned after a disruptive incident in which an attendee turned on their camera and microphone and engaged in inappropriate behavior. The individual did not appear to be a board member or a representative of the state. As these meetings are open to the public, the incident appears to be a case of Zoom bombing. After a brief adjournment, all attendees were required to identify themselves or be kicked from the meeting. Good times.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to Cole Memo. The last meeting I was on, there are some people that at one point I think they were trying to demand that everybody have their cameras on, like including like public attendees, and like to like have your name. It's like, yo, like people can be here anonymously. Like you can just invest in software where you don't allow certain people to have camera privileges or audio privileges. Like it's a you problem, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas. Texas approves a ban to bill consumable hemp-derived THC products. Texas House late Wednesday gave initial approval to a bill that would ban all products containing THC, likely spelling the end for the state's short-lived hemp industry. Under the legislation, which is nearing the governor's desk for approval, adults would face up to a year in jail for possessing hemp products with any amount of THC, a stricter penalty than what is on the books for possessing up to 2 ounces of marijuana. It's the same thing. The bill's expected passage portends a minor earthquake for the state's economy, effectively shuttering a field that by one estimate accounts for roughly 50,000 jobs and generates $8 billion in tax revenue annually.
Wait, what?
What?
Is this saying that the THC delta THC industry accounts for 50,000 jobs and $8 billion in tax revenue.
Let's click on that link and see where that estimate comes from. Yes. There you go. The Whitney Economics Report titled Hemp-Derived Cannabinoids in the Lone Star State, an economic impact analysis of cannabinoid retail in Texas, estimates that cannabis businesses last year generated more than $8 billion in revenue and employed more than 50,000 workers. In addition, hemp-derived cannabinoid product manufacturers and extractors have invested more than $1 billion in infrastructure to establish and expand operations throughout Texas.
I'm just blown away by the $8 billion. This other, and in marijuana moment, they said $8 billion in tax revenue, which is not the truth. $8 billion in revenue altogether makes sense, but $8 billion in Delta 9 THC from the gas stations?
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
don't think so, bub. I just can't even imagine, like, Illinois into fucking Michigan.
Revenue is subject to tax, so I guess it is tax revenue. I guess that is technically $8 billion worth of tax revenue.
That's
it's just
what they're
worded
saying. That's
shittily.
a misinterpretation. That's bad journalism. All I'm trying to say.
Let's be real. Most of this stuff is AI now, anyway. Shout out to Jason.
This is a bad.
And I'm not accusing this of being AI.
Yeah, and 8 billion seems crazy. 3.3 billion in a recreational market where you're legally allowed to go in and do this thing. People aren't shying from it, they're not hiding from it, and I guarantee you that Michigan's actual cannabis market is far greater than the hemp fucking market that they exist in. There's way more people going to dispensaries than they're going to gas stations. So even to say 8 billion seems like some big number, and I can get behind some things. Like, if in Texas there's $8 billion of hemp industry going on, bingo. But Delta 9 THC gas station cannabis, not a fucking thing. It's just not. And it blows me away. And this is how they get away with it, is they put all these fear tactics out there. They say the thing incorrectly. Any individual out there who's ignorant and willing to just accept the verbiage or the fucking trickery of journalism to begin with falls into it and goes, $8 billion in revenue in illegal weed that's going on here.
It also says here the bill also establishes a range of criminal offenses. Anyone found to have manufactured, delivered, or possessed a THC product with intent to deliver could face a third-degree felony charge, punishable at 2 to 10 years in prison. Same penalty would apply for manufacturing CBD products without a license or selling them without registering with state officials. Possessing a consumable hemp product with any amount of THC would be punishable up to a year in jail, double the existing penalty for possessing up to 2 ounces of marijuana. That's pretty shitty.
I honestly, the whole entire thing here is just some fucking, this is Texas fucking bullshit, dude. And it's honestly, it's rooted in all of the shit that we're reading. The marijuana moments has bad journalism. The one that we clicked on, 8 billion.
Well, it's just because people want so much content that things just get pumped out, and
the more you click
it is buyer beware. It is up to, I mean, actually, that's why you should watch us, because we're actually going to click on the thing and say, wait, that doesn't sound right. And it's our job to actually tell you what they're actually doing. So,
sound right. The biggest industries in Texas, some of the biggest ones ain't going to make fucking $8 billion. Well, what? All of a sudden, hemp THC fucking shit is the scare. And it wasn't like they said industrial hemp, something where we're making concrete out of, we're making fiber out of it, we're doing all of these things that actually make textile whatever, which is, maybe that's an $8 billion industry altogether, especially when they're talking about $1 billion worth of extraction and infusion shit. That's probably more to make this thing an industrial product. But to think that every single bit of it is for this intoxication, this fear of intoxication, and that's what they're doing. They're using fear to represent this thing, and they're doing it in a way that's pushing people away.
Minnesota decriminalizes bongwater, ending risk of decades in prison over drug residue.
Nice.
2009, the state ruled that bongwater could be legally considered a drug.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There was a provision in a 92-page Judiciary and Public Safety bill that was sent. He's expected to sign it. But basically, under current law, quantities of bong water greater than 4 ounces can be treated like the pure uncut version of whatever substance the bong was used to smoke.
Who the fuck's got more than 4 ounces of bong water?
6 foot bong? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I want to know how many people have been in prison for this shit.
Who?
Gee.
I don't know. But hey, good for Minnesota. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's
I mean,
one of those funny things, like you can't say Joliet wrong or you're gonna get fined.
What are you talking about, man? It's Joliet.
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 Yeah, and if you don't say it correctly, there's literally a law in place. It's not even a joke. There's literally a written law in the Joliet fucking books that if you say Joliet incorrectly in the wrong context, you can actually be fined and fucking given I think it's, I don't remember what it is, if it's a misdemeanor or a civil disturbance or whatever, but it's literally written in their law. Don't
But
say
you have to be there, right?
What?
You have to be there, right? It's like
I
within
think
this.
you have to be, and I don't know what the extent of it is or how much they enforce it, but I think it had something to do with a single individual instance inside of a courtroom where somebody kept saying Joylet, and it's literally Joylet is what kept getting said.
It's Joylet because it's like a toilet.
I'm almost confident this is what an old school.
It's Joylet.
Yeah, this is what an old school fucking guy that like was part of like the law back there. Right?
I'm not gonna make fun of Joliet because maybe we have people that are from there that listen. So
no, hey, listen, they got some of the greatest disc golf. I'm into that shit.
Hell yeah. Cool. Hey, let's do the thing. Once I.
You got some symptoms from your condition to help you feel better. That is my mission. At the Conditional Cannabis Corner, you can get that information, and it won't even cost you a quarter.
Do this.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm into it.
And then I go to. No, that's not
Let me
get this one.
Let me hit a water, chip a wall real quick, get the vocals going. No, and it's funny. I think maybe I subliminally know that it's coming, but earlier on in the episode, as I have been a couple of times here recently, I know that it's coming, but I start talking about instances of what I want to talk about here.
That's what she said.
Yeah, in the Conditional Cannabis Corner, seizures in epileptics. Aaron asked me, "Hey man, what are we doing for this week's seizure or this week's Conditional Cannabis Corner?" I said I would like to do seizure in epilepsy because, well, there's 2 conditions that I've ever claimed, and this is through correlation with my mentor, again, us kind of going back and forth with what the ideas of medicine is with this thing. There's 2 conditions that respond directly to cannabis use, and the 2 that respond to it are cancer and epilepsy. The rest of the conditions, it's more of a symptom response, right? We're dealing with the symptoms of said condition, where to actually deal with the condition itself and get condition reversal, and maybe it's not reversal where it isn't like cancer actually goes away, right? We can see that screening go from something to nothing. And there's a lot more that goes on to it than just using the proper cannabis. But in epilepsy, we have seen a massive drastic decrease, and or even this like idea where it's like that doesn't exist in me as long as I stay regulated with cannabis. And I've witnessed all types of epilepsy, everything from intractable, just born with it, all the way through like kind of epilepsy that has developed through people's lives where they start to get that temporary lapse, is what I call it. I don't know what the proper terminology is for the unconscious but still physically aware, right? You're able to stand there, and then it's kind of like the old computer sign off and then restart, boom 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 boom. Oh, and then you're back, right? That is a reality that people deal with because of a condition called epilepsy. And if you don't have it, then you don't understand it. But I didn't understand it until I witnessed it directly across from me. In a couple of instances, where people would go, hey, I had a buddy that used to come through there a lot. And he said, hey, do you mind? Can you like just grab my arms and hold me? I'm fine. I'll stay up, but like I feel like a seizure coming on. Just hold my hand so I don't fall down. And I grabbed his hands and I was like, are you okay? And like I was talking to him the whole time. The lights on, nobody home. And then all of a sudden, it was like the computer restarted, and boom, he was back. He goes, hey, like he knew that I had held on to him. He like looked at me and he goes, oh, okay, thanks for like helping me, whatever. And it was just this like trying to get back into thought, right? Through regulation of cannabinoids, through regular ingestion of cannabinoids, I've actually seen the condition epilepsy, and definitely the symptoms of epilepsy, which is seizures, to decrease massively. And even then, for some people, the amount of, and if it seemed more like because there's temporary lapse seizures, and then there's grand mal seizures, right? All of us know grand mal. That's some scary shit. Somebody drops out, they can't hold their muscles. There's this tightness. There can be, everybody associates the foaming at the mouth thing, that little, listen, there's a lack of control of all consciousness, no voluntary muscle movements anymore. It is because the wiring in the brain has been messed with. The signaling, the pathways, the whatever it is. And we have a plant that is a neuroprotectant, a neurostimulant. It literally is capable of playing in the same space where there is a negative effect going on. So this thing actually has the ability, just cannabis in itself and the proper use of cannabis, for being the thing that helps people reduce their epilepsy even. It's drastically reducing the symptoms of epilepsy, which is the seizures. But it's getting to this point where I've seen in older folks who are capable of being more cognitive of it, of being aware of all of the times that they've had the temporary lapses, and now they're just not doing it. And they seem to be more regulated and in control of. And see, the thing is, yeah, we all want to help the people who have the grand mal seizures. Duh. Give them the medicine. Duh. But there's so many more people who suffer from epilepsy where it's not just a grand mal seizure response. It's a temporary lapse thing. And epilepsy isn't one thing. In the same way that cancer isn't one thing, it's many things. Epilepsy isn't one thing. It seems to be many things. It is that neurotransmission though, right? And knowing that we have something that is a neuroprotectant, a neurostimulant, something that can help play and regulate what is going on. It's a neuroregulator. Introducing this thing seems to be like a no-brainer to me, right? As somebody who's obviously an advocate of cannabis, but more desperately an advocate of people's health. Like, I wish people would actually take their health into their own hands. And it's in some of this, there's a massive fear. How do I go away from the Western medicine? Because I at least know that I'm some regulated through the Western medicine. How do I transition into this thing? And is it that I even transition, or how do I use in conjunction with? Where I'm only saying transition from because I've witnessed personally people who have used the Western medicine and they've gone to every one of them. For epilepsy directly, they've gone to every single different, they've tried them, increase, decrease. Oh, okay, it's not working, increase a lot more. No, okay, well, then we'll go to the next one. And they've played this fucking game back and forth. The only thing you need to go to is one medicine. It's cannabis. Cannabis has many properties to it. It can be the up, the down, all that different trying out shit that you've done in Western medicine, medical practice, you can practice in cannabis medicine as well. And I'm not saying that you should go away from what your doctor says. I'm not saying change your medicine. I don't really care. I'm telling you that I've seen a medicine that is drastically more effective, to the point where we watched, and I tout this story as many times as I can. I use it as often as I can. We literally watched a young girl go 200 plus days without having a grand mal seizure after initially being introduced to cannabis. It was literal first introduction, 200 and something days clean. And then, and still the temporary lapses. Now she was it wasn't uncommon for her to have multiple grand mal seizures in a single day, but she said she would have anywhere from 10 to 50 temporary lapse seizures per day, to where now she was regulating them temporary lapses. She said there was times where she would go an entire day without that. Do you understand the relief that would cause to a person who is unable to stop the thing from restarting, to fall asleep in the middle? And it's not falling asleep. That is not it. That's a fucking bad way of describing it. It is to literally shut off. Lights are on, but nobody's home. It's the weird, and for the people who suffer from it, to know that this plant is actually unbelievably effective in it, and yet they're still shunned from it. The one medicine, the fucking cannabis, they've synthesized it in the laboratory, and now it's okay, and they can prescribe it at the fucking doctor's office, is Epidiolex. Right? There's another one too. Somebody else can fucking come up. But Epidiolex was made to help for seizure activity. Why do I need some synthesized cannabinoid when there's actually fucking real cannabinoids? Why do we have to fake it to make it? What is going on? And it's a naturally occurring, it's a plant. It's got to be the least invasive. It's got to be it's as natural as it comes. I don't know how much more you want to mess with that. And the extraction method that we used to take the cannabis from the plant was very, very clean. It's water, it's CO2, it's heat extraction. Now even the extraction methods have been cleaned. We're just trying to pull the best parts of it and leave it in this awesome soup that actually does benefit you. We call it entourage effect. You want to be more direct with it. Okay, fine, sativa indica. That's not good enough. That's a bad description. Okay, well then CBD, THC, THCV, CBG, CBN. Wait a minute, now you're getting confusing. But you guarantee that it's THC over CBD? No, I'm telling you that it's all of it. But what tends to be the best, okay, and that's just me ranting. I'm sorry. Thanks for getting through the rant. For epilepsy, the best thing that I've seen happen, period. And it's the same thing. Go back and listen to all of the other conditional cannabis corners. Use CBD with consistency. Allow that thing to regulate your system. CBD plays in with your immune system. It helps build your immunities to things. It helps promote cell production and reproduction. It like every single positive thing that your body, the cellular structure does, CBD is a benefit to that. So to just do that, why wouldn't you? But we also know that CBD plays in conjunction with this THC molecule as far as the neuroprotectant goes, as far as the neurostimulant goes. Is it binding to your CB1 receptors at the same rate that THC is? It is not. But is there still an effect, and does it help regulate when the THC is available? 100% it does. That's what I was saying earlier with the young lady. She keeps a consistency, 25 milligrams of CBD per dose multiple times a day, just so that she can keep it regulated in her system. Now, she's doing it through a method of eating it, which we know that the digestion rate then on a CBD molecule ends up being, I think it's 5 to 7 hours. I tend to say 6 to 8 because 6 to 8 is something a little bit more square for how long our day is, right? Our day's 24 hours, so you can do that 3 times at 8 hours apiece, or you can do it 4 times at 6 hours apiece. Whatever you prefer to do, that this seems to be a way to consistently dose. And I've seen just time after time after time, once we get to this 25 milligram range of real actual CBD, I don't know what's inside the gummies anymore. I don't even know if we're absorbing the gummies. Stop doing that. A lot of the people who have gotten the best success from what I'm talking about, CBD dosing, have done it through literally, and I'll plug the one product shamelessly. It's Shelby County's fucking sweet pea oil. It is a high FICO. FICO is full extract cannabis oil. It's it's the plant extracted through a very clean CO2 method. What is left from this sweet pea plant, sweet pea is a very high producing CBD thing. We're left with close, relatively like a 20 to 1, or maybe even a little bit higher on the CBD side of THC to or CBD to THC. And sometimes the THC they produce, it gets a little bit higher. They let it grow a little bit further, whatever it is. They've degraded the cannabinoids, and now the THC is a little bit higher, but it's no less effective of a product. And also it has like osamine, which I believe is very good for neuroprotection. It has, I forget what the other one is that was in there too. And I don't know. It was terpenoline maybe. Anyway, and that's the whole thing. Is it just the cannabinoids? Is it the terpenoids? Is it the entourage? What I'm telling you is that if you have epilepsy, if you consistently dose yourself with 25 milligrams of CBD per day, you have a very good chance of regulating some of your seizure activity. I've seen people, glory stories, like I said, 200 plus days, 0 gram moles. And because it hasn't been studied enough, or because there isn't enough science behind it, but just all this, well, we should do more studies. Stop studying it, start implementing it. The thing is not hurting anybody. CBD is hurting nobody. If you've gotten some headaches from taking CBD, that's the most pain you'll ever feel from CBD. And it might not be CBD. It might be the extraction method that they got to get whatever CBD you're taking. How are you eating this thing? What else has gone into it? You know, what methods of extraction? Did it have some, alcohol behind it? There's a lot of different things that could play factors into why we're feeling the negatives. That's not even what I'm talking about, though. What is the harm that CBD causes? And name them. Go for it. I beg you. Because even the LD50 test that I'm happily regularly able to bring up with cannabis, and you got to consume, in the old school, they said like 20,000 doses or 40,000 doses, depending on what you're going through, which means like if a joint was a single dose, it's however many pounds of cannabis. And then, there's just all of this stuff where it's like you got to consume 30, 40, 70, 100 pounds of cannabis within a 15-minute window to toxically shock your system with the potential of death. At the same rate, CBD is like, I think it's a quarter of that. I think it's a tenth of that. There's some, like, the toxicity or the toxicology. We also might not be absorbing CBD at the same rate. So that's why I say get a nice dose of it, 25 milligrams, something that we know CBD is there. Because if we're only absorbing, what is it? 10%, 20%, 50%, 80%, who knows how much it is that we're absorbing or not. If we're rejecting any of it, then why not just take more of it? Especially if there is no harm in it. So I think a nice base level, 25 milligrams CBD, it's definitely not going to hurt you. And then do it 4 times a day if you dose every 6 hours, or 3 times a day if you dose every 8 hours. Do it through a form of edible. This young lady is encapsulating. I actually think that she might be, if I'm not wrong, she might be on a feeding tube, the one that I've talked about earlier in the thing. So her dose might go into I think she leaves it on a tray. I think she mixes everything up. She mixes the 2 cannabinoids, or the 2 syringes and stuff. So she's got her high CBD. She adds a little bit of THC into it. We mix it up with coconut oil. She doses it out into the proper amount of doses versus the measurements that are on the cannabis package versus the weight of the coconut oil. And we try our best to make sure that this girl has a 3-part CBD, so 25 milligrams, to about a 1-part THC, so about 7 to 8 milligrams. There's sometimes that it's 5, there's sometimes that it's 10. We don't seem to have these great differences. Maybe the more abundant that we have the THC, the more sleep the young lady gets, which honestly, from her mom's perspective, it's not bad because she has a terrible sleep cycle. So if we could regulate that with it, and I said, oh, you definitely could. We could take the THC out during the day but maybe increase it at the night. And she goes, nah, let's just, I said, well, maybe let's make a dose without, and there's ways that you can play around with constantly, right? Let's find out what's the other added benefits to this thing. But you know what the big benefit has been? Massive, drastic drop in seizure activity. Regulated outbursts in just overall mood and behavior. Like all of these things, and the epilepsy does not cause that, right? There's more that goes on. But to be able to regulate so many different parts of this young lady who has far more conditions than any one of us, right? And I don't say it, it's not a measuring competition, but the poor fuck, you know what I mean? So at some part, empathize with the fact that, wait a minute, I am in good health. I want to keep this. I would do anything to maintain my good health. I don't want to deteriorate to this point where some of these other people have. And in fact, if I can help them build back up and find a foundation of comfort, even if it's guilty comfort, even if it's just a fuck it all. Now, epileptic's not the same situation, but it's to build this comfort in everybody, no matter what. Cannabis offers so many things, and to see people who are epileptic and like the poor young lady that I'm talking about, and not poor young, she's such a beautiful, awesome person, and she's so every time that we get to interact, and she's nonverbal, so that everybody, right, every time we get to interact, it is just the best. Like, this is why I have to keep getting on stream, on podcast, wherever, and just I get excited. You got to keep telling everybody, scream about it, yell about it, because it's so fucking worth it. Because when it's implemented and when it's done correctly, it is so massive, the impact. And more than even just giving maybe the daughter also some comfort in everything, it sure as fuck has helped the mom feel really good about some things. To know that it doesn't seem like her daughter suffers as much anymore. That she's not going through all this seizure activity, which then kicks her ass in a totally different way. The poor girl just doesn't have the fucking energy to begin with. And now she's got seizure activity coming in and kicking her ass even further. She's uncomfortable because she's not, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I think that I keep explaining what's going on with her to explain that there is clearly something that is bigger than any of us. It doesn't matter your political views. It doesn't matter your fucking religious beliefs. None of this shit should matter. There's people out there that, in context, I'm sorry that I can't stop using the word this poor girl, but it sucks. I don't want to have to see anybody suffer the way that this girl does at times. And to have a fucking plant be the thing that actually gives her some comfort, some benefit, to regulate it, to tax it, to make sure that, we'll tell you when and how much and where and what, like, get over it already. All of that is just fucking noise. It's just some fear tactic for you to feel comfortable with what you're going through. I'm going to tell you in this instance, no offense, I don't give a fuck what you're going through unless it's what that girl is going through. I care what everybody's going through, actually, but in the instance of you trying to put yourself above some laws, some fucking tax bracket, some business model, and some name of your business means more than that, oh, you can fuck straight off. And that's why I don't seem to fit in the cannabis industry. I want to exist in it. I feel like I understand the thing well enough where I can do a job in it and whatever. But I want to impact the place where like these people are getting benefited, and fuck your laws on it. It's so crazy that we could regulate that. Well, nobody's regulating CBD. I told you she needs THC too. More than 3%, more than 0.3%. It's just silly. All these arbitrary numbers that you fall into and you go, oh, I accept that as my truth. Well, that's yours. Why the fuck do you hold it against somebody else for doing theirs? And I don't know that anybody is, but I rant like this. I get so excited about this because I've watched all of these regulations continually come about. I've watched that fat monster. And I'm sorry, I don't mean, okay, let me back up. I'm getting way too excited. I don't mean to call names and that's not what is going to represent this thing any better. It just sucks that the guy who is in the most control, the JB Pritzker character, gets to tout himself out there and go, oh, look at how good we are. We're the most equitable. We're the most inclusive. And he's literally doing so in a business sense, all for profit. Anything, if you can profit from it, oh my God, look at us go. You're doing a terrible job of that. Your neighbors 2 over are taking like a quarter of what your fucking industry is doing of your own people, and you're sending it over 2 borders. It's a bad business model. But that's the whole thing, is they get to tout their who cares about the business end of this? You see, that's why I don't fit in the cannabis industry too. That's why I've been, I don't want to say shunned or looked again. Like people just don't, who cares about you, man? You got too many opinions on it. No, it's not an opinion. You have somebody in this fucking market is going to figure out that what I'm saying matters. What we keep talking about as a collective matters, that it's not about you and your stupid fucking packaging, your consumer packaged goods. Look at our name, look at our branding. That's all you care about. Look at how confident you are in your fucking branding. Good for you. You've done nothing to help anybody. The people who are helping people down on the ground level aren't even representing your shit. They keep going to Shelby's going, man, well, if you really want the medical effect, if you want the thing that you've come through the fucking door seeking, you should go to fucking Shelby County. You should do Connect. They've got Fire Flower because they're a smaller thing. They can only do 5,000 square feet. They seem to be caring about their shit more now. I don't know. I'd rather just follow them. But again, the market has done such a good job of fooling the consumer into believing that these inflated numbers are what are going to give the impact. It drastically isn't. So, rant over. Back to epilepsy, just purely to sum this whole thing up. I hope all of you have access. If you have epilepsy, and it doesn't matter what form of epilepsy you have, if you have epilepsy, if you have seizure activity, period, there is a plant out there that it's just been naturally occurring from forever. Man figured out how to harvest it, and now we've cultivated it away from its most beneficial properties, maybe, and we've harvested it now for this pure THC thing. It's this highly intoxicating, very taxable because it's a sin to do. You got to feel guilty because of all the weed. It's such a monster. All the while, I'm sitting here begging everybody. I'm like, who gives a fuck about THC? Y'all are so dumb to even fight about it. The massive things that are helping people, the things that literally are benefiting the most affected, all right, the ones who have the biggest conditions and the ones that we say, poor them, that poor girl. I would do anything to help them, and so would you. You know that you would, and that's why you're even listening still. Because those people deserve our attention, they deserve our affection, and they deserve, especially when they're nonverbal, incapable of making decisions for themselves. Fuck me, I hope the people around them are making the best decisions for them. And her mother, her doctors, all agree I agree. Who the fuck am I? She won't go to anybody else but me. I have the proper math. I'm able to represent it the right way. I'm not saying I'm any better. I don't care. I will do this scientifically and I'll do it mathematically for you. And I'm doing it literally for you. This doesn't benefit me. I don't rant about this shit because I need to prove to you all that I feel better from cannabis. I'm confident that cannabis has been the thing that's given me comforts in a lot of times. And I'm confident that cannabis is what's giving that little girl her comfort every single day. I know there's plenty of other experiences in her life, the food that she eats and all these things that will help build her health and whatever, but there is a drastic portion of this comfort. And I promise you, ask her mother. She says, every time I show up, she doesn't smile like this for anybody else. Who the fuck am I? It's the same thing that when I was talking to the man and his family, he was passing away in his last few days. I get to go visit him. They said, man, he goes, hey, what's going on here? And the family's going, okay, what did you do to him? I said, it wasn't me, you all. I didn't do anything. It was literally the cannabis. The plant is so good at this thing, it actually causes comfort, causes connection. And once you feel that comfort in it, like the old man did at the end of his life, who the fuck am I? Why do you invite me to your house 3 days before, right? But it's because of that connection. It's because of this level of comfort that exists. Why does this girl smile at me unlike anybody else? I get it. I'm cute. I'm not even going to deny it. Whatever. This beard's attractive. Okay, fine. I'm just kidding. I'm being big-headed. But okay, it's not, and I literally tell them all the time. I said to the family too, I said, guys, it's not because I showed up. It's because I represent the thing that gives them the comfort. And they deserve it. So regulate through some CBD, add a little THC when it seems like the other portions of the thing aren't as regulated. When you don't have the same level of comfort, and maybe it's not just THC and CBD. There's a lot more to this plant, but for epileptics, get that regulation of CBD 6 to 8 hours, 25 milligrams minimum. Do it, give it a full month of honest effort. If you're in Illinois and you can find a Shelby County sweet pea oil, I beg you to try that too. So anyway, thanks for letting me go excessive again too.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
this one matters to me.
I understand.
This is a visual thing that I was able to see actually where cannabis was impactful. And now I'm like, dude, you get me way too excited talking about this thing. Like epilepsy, I'm like, this is the one where legitimate, and I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Cresco that breaks through. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's Mr. CBD. I don't care who it is. Break through to Big Pharma and give them a clean source of CBD for all patients epileptic. It makes sense.
Hell yeah. We love you all. Smoke weed every day.
That's
Peace.
it.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.